Hello investors, welcome to Prosimo, the value stock analyzer. Earlier this week, we featured Mullen Automotive as our stock of the week. And as I said earlier, we would come back and do a little research and uncover what we found, and that's what we're doing today. But first, a quick update. Last Monday, when we started reviewing the stock, it was at 42 cents. Today, it's at 36 cents. We are down 15% or so in a week. That's a bummer for Mullen fans. I think what we uncovered was this is a new EV stock. What I've learned since then is that this was a company that went public through a SPAC where they sort of merge with someone else so that they can go public without having to go through the IPO process. It's become very popular over the last couple of years. Mullen followed that route. What I've also learned about Mullen is they have quite the following. There's actually a whole subreddit dedicated to Mullen Automotive stock. And there's a lot of folks in here who are super bullish on the company, which is always cool to see. I love the enthusiasm. Reddit can be a very strong force, as we've seen in the past. So it's interesting to see how this community can impact the company. I was also made aware through the comments of our video of an acquisition Mullen made last December, ELMS, Electric Last Mile Solutions. This is an EV service for logistics. Mullen purchased it for $240 million in cash. This also helps kind of explain some of the increase in assets we saw over last year for the company. So Mullen is making moves, improving their position in the market. Now, those are sort of the positive indicators I found on Mullen. How about some of the negatives? The biggest negative I found was this article by Hindenburg Research from last April. Mullen Automotive, yet another fast-talking EV hustle. This is a very in-depth article, really highlighting some of the business practices and some of the moves that Mullen has made in its short history. Even if you just take a couple minutes to read the bullet points, some of the information in here is less than exciting. Mullen is an aspiring EV manufacturer that came public in late 2021 via reverse merger. It's yet to produce a sellable vehicle. That's okay. The company's stock has spiked 316% in the past couple months, driven by retail investor euphoria over bold claims of groundbreaking technology, near-term production of its EV vans, and a major as yet unnamed Fortune 500 customer. Despite only spending $3 million in R&D in 21, Mullen claims its solid-state battery technology is on track for commercialization in 18 to 24 months, putting it ahead of every major technology and automaker in the industry who have collectively invested billions on solving the problem. And I'm not going to lie, this one does feel a little bit like a red flag to me. We did see this when we looked at the balance sheet. They didn't have a lot of cash. They weren't spending a lot of cash, yet they are claiming to make some pretty massive moves in a short period of time. $3 million is not a lot of money, especially in something like EV technology. For someone to make a breakthrough in EV technology with $3 million, that would be really impressive. Really impressive. Mullen recently press released an update on its battery testing, sending its stock soaring in a day. In reality, the news appears to be a rehash of testing the company already. Whatever. Mullen apparently misrepresented the test results, according to CEO of the company that performed the test. The CEO of Mullen press release, "We never would have said that. We never did say that, and I certainly wouldn't have said it based on the results of testing that battery." Miscommunication happens all the time, especially in startups, whatever. In 2020, Mullen announced a joint venture to manufacture its solid-state battery technology. We spoke to a senior executive familiar with the supposed JV who told us it didn't exist at all. It was an apparent fabrication. He called Mullen CEO David Michery fast-talking and a hustler. Definitely a yellow flag, not a red flag, because, a former executive could be bitter about the departure. Although at the same time, if you were the executive of a company and then get ousted, you may still have interest in that company. You may still have stock in that company. So you may want it to still do well for your own, selfish reasons. You wouldn't go and badmouth the company you used to work for. So we're going to call this a yellow flag. Mullen's battery claims were based on technology licensed from a 1-year-old Chinese battery technology. After hyping the importance of the relationship, Mullen made one payment under the deal and promptly terminated the relationship. The Chinese company's website no longer works. Well, that's just a bummer. No, really, there's not a whole lot to say about that. That's not good for Mullen, at least not for their near-term goals. The 2 electric cargo vans that Mullen claims it will be manufacturing are actually Chinese EVs rebranded with a Mullen logo. Import records show the company recently imported 2 vehicles from China, one of each model. This is the one that kind of disappoints me the most. There are millions of companies out there, rebranding Chinese manufactured products and selling them as something else. This is a super popular tactic among young entrepreneurs, right? Drop shipping, e-commerce websites. For someone to do this in the EV market makes me very unexcited, right? If you're going to rebrand Chinese EVs and slap a Mullen logo on there, that may be cool, great. Maybe you can, do some business, but at that point, you're really just a marketing company. You're not innovating. You're not a technology company. If that's Mullen's strategy for bringing EVs to the market, it's just not that exciting. Mullen has other major production hurdles. The company has no EPA certificates for its vans, nor any vehicle, a requirement to sell vehicles in the United States, a process that takes 12 to 18 months. They need to get on top of that. Previously, Mullen had announced purchase orders valued at $60 million for 1,200 Class 2 EV fleet vans. The order came from a small cannabis retailer with only one location and a new online store that says it prefers to ship via USPS. This is also potentially damning. They also announced a $200 million purchase order for vans. I think, the deal with LAX. If that turns out to be false, that could seriously hurt the company, the stock, and the future prospects for Mullen Automotive. So I'll pause here. I'll put this link in the description. Check it out for yourself. There's a lot to read through here. My thoughts are generally the same. This is not a company that I would invest in. This is a very highly speculative, highly risky stock, in my opinion. I look more for companies with lots of existing value. There's no value in Mullen Automotive right now. It's pure speculation. Sure, it could blow up. It could be bigger than Tesla one day. Unlikely, in my opinion. But who knows? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you. Happy investing. Go find some value.